All right, so from floor work back to trim work. Now, if you guys remember in my video about my general project updates, I had Marco's red coupe with the GT kit that I was doing all the trim on. And while I was doing that trim, I actually had all the trim off of this car, with the exception of the what you see masked up here. And I got that all painted at the same time. So here it is, completed product. Got this finished up last night, and the car looks completely different. And the owner is super happy with the pictures that I've sent him. Hopefully he'll come and get the car this weekend. It's our Thanksgiving weekend up here in Canada. And beautiful fall colors out there. Weather seems to be nice, so hopefully he can get out and enjoy it some. But here you go, guys. You can see, got all these quarter windows. Damn fruit flies. Quarter windows, all back factory looking. Got our door handles, our lock cylinders, all of the door frames. And these guys were a challenge, right? Because all of this was red. So I had to mask from here, and then down here, and get all of these lines looking good. All in here was also red. Now, typically, this black runs into the channel where the weather stripping is. And I said to myself, you know what? It'd probably look fine if I just took it up along this little line here up into the channel, because the black from factory cuts off right here at this seam. So I figured, you know what? Might as well just let that red carry through the channel where the weather stripping is, right? And do something a little different. You don't see it when the door is closed. So it's kind of like the best of both worlds. Kind of a factory improvement, if you ask me. All the trim along the rear window here. Again, rear quarter moldings. These look a million times better. Now, because of the clear coat on these guys, they are extremely, what's the word, rigid. So there was a couple little cracks over time from them, you know, just material hardening up. So I had to use some of my polyester fill, clean up a few little spots, but other than that, they look great. Same thing on the passenger side here. Everything looks good. No complaints. Really happy with the way that everything turned out. Guys, you have to let me know your thoughts and opinions on what's better, the black trim or everything body color. To be honest, I really didn't mind the way the car looked before, but I do think that it looks better now. I know that the owner has a couple ideas for some further upgrades. He's got some coilovers to put into this thing, and I think that GT kit might be leaving. So, you know, again, whoever did the paint work and putting all this together back in the day did a really, really nice job. So hats off to them. I think it does look better overall with the trim being black and original. But like I said before, having had that trim all painted body color really preserved it, because it was all nice and smooth. There was no real big pits to deal with, other than some of the few spider web cracks on the rear quarter glass, as mentioned, that I had to repair. Everything was pretty straightforward, just time consuming in terms of how much needed to get masked off, and you know, trying to tape and get all of those little body lines and factory markings back. You can see all the remnants of the floor pan on the floor here. Taking a little break from that because there's just not enough hours today to get that floorboard tackled. So I'm just trying to work on a number of things at the same time, and also gives you kind of a good break in between certain tasks that you're doing. You know, that way you don't get, I don't know, bored or too absorbed into something and maybe you get frustrated. So it's kind of a nice mix, right? So you can see here, got everything masked off and sanded down and prepped. These quarter moldings were actually in pretty good shape to start with. Not much needed in terms of the polyester fill that I use. So that driver's side was actually better than the passenger side. You can see the passenger side here has quite a bit more fill, but that's all been applied. It's sanded out nice and smooth. So we're going to go ahead now, just wipe everything down again, make sure all my greasy fingerprints are off, and get some coats of primer on here, and then be doing the top coat. For any of you guys that are wondering the products and my method that I use on this, I got 2 videos. I got one on how to restore your coupe quarter windows. Now, this isn't a full-blown restoration on these windows. This is just kind of a cleanup and pretty up. Same product, same method, but this is on the car versus when I do the restoration, the glass is out and I go over everything just to make sure that they're as good as new, if not better. And in this case, it's just a general cleanup, look good on the car, not in too bad a shape to start with, and just kind of go from there. If they were in any worse shape, I'd be pulling these guys off the car. So I'm gonna go ahead, wipe everything down again, get my primer going, and that'll be pretty much it for the trim. And I can reinstall all the other stuff that I finished painting. So this stuff dries super fast, and if you guys saw in the time lapse, you would see I was wearing a mask. This paint is extremely high solids, so sets up quick, and it's also good stuff because it lasts, and that's what you want, especially on your nice quarter moldings, right? So go ahead and get this all unmasked here. These quarter windows aren't perfect, but I'm happy with the way that they turned out. They probably are going to be one of the highlighted features of the car. Well, the whole trim in general, really. I think this car is going to be a really nice little driver for somebody. This car is actually going to be for sale, so if any of you guys are interested, so I have to finish up that floor, and from there, lower this guy down, get the new tires on it, fix the headlights. Got to get rid of all this this weirdness in the front here. But you know, once that's all done, then this guy will be good for the streets. All right, so this next day, got the trim back on, and the car would look better if it wasn't so dirty. Maybe the camera makes it look a little bit better. You know, it's just, I had used some spray nine and some other cleaning products. I was just trying to clean out all in the channels, blew out all the tree particles and everything else that were sitting in there. But everything is looking really good, really happy with the way that it turned out. So that's taken care of. Got the battery charger on just because I had the doors open so long. Battery went dead on me and it was already weak to begin with. If you remember, had to use the booster pack to start it up. So want to actually jack the car up now and potentially take a look at the suspension, maybe cut a coil out, or see what else I have for springs laying around. Anything I have laying around might be too low, so might just take a coil. So time to zip these wheels off, and I'm going to go ahead, get the tires swapped out with some Dunlop 245 45 17s. These guys are all 235 45. So what that's going to do is things are going to be a little bit wider, not as much tire stretch on these 9-inch wide wheels, and we'll get a little bit more profile as well. So things should look a little bit nicer on these wheels. Not a huge fan of the wheels themselves, but you know, black out these center caps or something like that and just kind of make things all black, or you know, to see what I got laying around. And yeah, probably cut a coil out. So I'll see if I need to swap anything else up there while we got the wheels off, and carry on with the transformation of this emerald green. So here we have it, guys. Transformation of the 91, sorry, dark emerald green coupe is coming along quite nice. Got a lot done today. Got all our trim reinstalled. Got the car lowered down, removed a coil and a half, front and rear. Here's the remains of the coils right here. So nothing too crazy. So for those of you that are wondering about cut coils, well, my personal opinion, I think Brutal would actually back me up on this. If you're going for about this ride height right here, you'd probably be fine with this much gone on a stock coil. Just kind of the quick and easy. The spring rates of the factory springs are actually quite accommodating when you cut a little bit material down. So what happens is it actually stiffens them up as a result. Now, the lower you go, the stiffer you want to be, but to a certain extent. Some of the springs out there are really aggressive, a lot more harsh in terms of how stiff they are. I'm a stiff spring kind of guy, but a lot of people like to be a little bit more comfortable. And as long as you're not bottoming out your suspension and everything else, you'd find that a coil and a half out of your stock spring actually works quite nice. So got the tires swapped over. So those are Dunlop 245, 45, 17. And they're looking a lot more flush, as you can see. Don't really have that tire stretch that was there before. So most importantly, we don't have bald tires in the front. So other than that, well, I had the wheels off and the spindles dropped down to get the springs out. Check the struts, the shocks. Struts in the front are stock. Seem to be fine, no leaks. And they're doing their thing. In the rear's KYB. It's got the gas adjust, I believe, shocks, and there is quad shocks on the back, which is nice. And even painted up the front calipers to pretty things up a little bit, accent off the dot in the 5.0. So the saw man.
Yeah. I didn't want to wreck your video by running the saw.
Oh, what are you cutting?
Should put headlights in that too.
Yeah, I know, the headlights are horrible. So that's my next thing. I gotta find.
We have some here, don't we?
Yeah. Smoked? No. Actually, I got the ones that are the blue car, but I think they're a bit of a yellow tinge. I'll see what they look like if I can swap those out.
Even clear inside, like.
That's the outside. Yeah, they're gone.
I thought they were wet, but they're not.
No. Like, I don't know if I can. I don't know. I think
they're too far, man.
It's funny how it's just the headlight, though.
Yeah. Well, maybe they've replaced parts and pieces aftermarket. Sometimes the aftermarket isn't all cracked up to be.
Nope. Not at all.
Oh, like it's not
Cleans up nice. I cleaned up this side just for the video. I can pull it outside, get a couple pictures. Center caps painted. That looks like
a caliper on the other side.
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say.
But I did the center caps all in black instead of that chrome. I think it looks better. I have black 5.0 badges. Probably look nice. Well, let's see if I can find some headlights for this thing. Then I'm going to call it a video. We'll get back to getting that floor pan installed. We'll get the interior back in. I actually got the carpet sitting out on the hood of the Grand Marquis out there. Getting that all drying up. And other than that, this thing is pretty much ready for sale. If you are interested in a real nice 91 dark emerald green coupe, hit me up.